Hi there. Today I'm going to talk about the game Parks. It's a game about the national parks in America. There are 48 cards in the game with the national parks. Each have their own victory points and their own stuff about how you can collect the cards. And so you have to foresee, you have to plan how do you collect these cards in the offer. There are wooden stuff like the sun, teardrops, mountains, and wild deers, and everything else. So there are a lot of items you need to collect in advance when you pass on the trail. There's a trail like on a mountain, a real through the park, a real adventure this time. There are also some bonus cards you have to collect, uh, and also one a season card per season. There are 4 seasons, so you need to take into account the season cards because this is also a bonus during the season. After 4 seasons, you have to see how many points each person has, and the person with the most points is the winner of the game. So let's go see how this game works. I'm going to explain a little bit about the purpose of the game and the items we are going to collect in the game. During the game, the main purpose is to collect cards from the offer, the market offer of cards. With each card has a victory point. Victory point. This card is worth 4, and next to the victory points, there is a mentioning of the resources, the wooden resources. This time we need 2 bushes and 4 suns. So we would need the sun and the wooden bushes like this. So these are wooden resources, wooden items we need to collect these cards. How are we going to collect these wooden resources? There's a trail along our hiker needs to collect these items. On each trail there is a possibility to collect wooden items. Like on this trail we're going to collect the mountain, a wooden mountain. On this we are going to collect, on this tile we're going to collect 2 suns, and on this tile we're going to collect 2 drops. So each tile has a separate property. This is interesting because we need to plan this along the trail. The hiker is going to pass along the trail. He needs to put his hiker on a certain tile of his own choice. So there is no dice involved in the game. You need to foresee and plan which items you need to collect, and maybe sometime you need to pass through the end of the game to collect the card you need, because anyone else can collect the card in the market offer. So that's a little bit of kind of planning. There are 3 possibilities at the end of the trail. If you don't have enough cards, you can reserve the card. So the item on the end of the tile, the end tile, the item on top is to reserve a park, the item with the hand. Then there's also the possibility to buy a gear, a bonus gear. You can have bonuses during the game. That way you can have a discount or extra points. That's also very interesting. And there's also the possibility to buy the park card itself on the bottom of this end tile. So that's important to know which of the 3 you're going to use at the end of the trail. There's also an extra tile during the game that sometimes appears during a certain kind of seasons. There are 4 seasons, so you have to pass through the trail 4 times. We're going to put up the game 4 times, the trail 4 times at random. You need to put them in an at random order, and you can collect also a park card or a gear card with this tile during the game if you have put this one somewhere in between. So that's also possibility to buy a card 2 times. whenever you have the resources, the wooden resources in your item. Then there's also a bonus card, a season card. Each season there is the cards with the floor are the bonus cards. This particular card is going to give you an extra water drop whenever you gain a mountain. So it's also interesting to keep this in mind. This season card counts for every player. There are also cards, year cards, so each person gets a year card, the cards with the calendar, and each person needs to get this one. For instance, uh, whenever you collect 5 cards with the sun on it, you get 2 points. This is a very easy one because there are a lot of suns, so this is an easy card. But there are a lot of difficult other cards, like for instance this one. You need to collect 6 cards with a mountain on it, but also take 3 pictures. And on top of that, it's only worth 2 points. So you need to keep in mind if this is an interesting card whenever you get this. Maybe you don't need to achieve this card because you can have other cards too. And mountain cards are also not too easy to achieve, but anyway, you can try to achieve them. I'm just telling you some advice about how to collect these cards. And there's also the bonus cards, like I told you. Bonus cards are the cards with the case on it. On the bonus cards there are a lot of different things, like discounts, or maybe like this, discount items, like parks cost 1 mountain less to visit. But this card also has a cost of 3 suns, and sometimes it can be bought by using the last card over here, and then it costs only 1 sun, 2 suns, because you get a discount of 1 sun when you place your hiker at the end of the tile of the trail on this spot, but it's only for 1 person at the moment. So, and there are a lot of other bonus cards. The bonus cards with the gears are put at the bottom of the game, and you need to take 3 cards. Each time you can take one of the 3 cards in the offer in your own collection, and you need to take into account each time a card, and you can have as many cards as you would like. You need to take into account these cards during the game because there are these represent bonuses. And then we have another type of card. This is the canteen card. The canteen card is with a little bubble with a plus on it. It's like a Christmas ball. And this card has a for instance, this card has a bonus of a mountain on it. How do you collect this card? Well, first you need to have this card in your own collection by collecting them with this tile. This is the canteen tile. Whenever you can choose between taking a picture or taking a canteen card. Afterwards, when you have collected the canteen card, you need to put a water drop inside the canteen card. This counts 1 time per season, and you can only put a drop on this canteen card after a new session. You cannot put an existing water drop of your own collection in the new canteen card. You need to put it with a new water drop. And each time you are collecting a canteen card, you need to collect it from this kind of cards. So I'm going to give each person a year card. Each person has to collect a year card. I'm going to play with 3 persons. This person is going to need 6 cards, 6 park cards with 2 or 3 points on it. The next person is going to need 6 mountain cards, 6 cards with mountain on it, and 3 pictures. And another person is going to need I'm going to pick an easy one, 6 cards with mountains on it. So that's pretty much easier than the other ones. We're going to put these other cards away. The next thing we need to do is to put the trail in a new order. The trail with 4 persons, you can leave them behind whenever you're playing with less than 4 players. There are 4 cards with a star on it. You need to choose one of them and put it amongst the other tiles, and you have to shuffle them a little bit to put them in a certain order, like this. There are also the case of the campfire. That's also an interesting thing to use, because whenever there's a person already on a certain tile, you can put your hiker on the same tile, but you need to make sure you use the campfire. So now the campfire is extinguished. You have to put the other side of the campfire. How is this going to be used? Well, the next time you cannot use another tile with another hiker on it. You're going to need to put one of your hikers needs to be at the end of the trail, and then you can turn around your campfire again. It will be lit again, and then you can put your hiker again on a spot with another hiker. Even it's a hiker of your own color, it needs to be put. One of the hikers needs to be at the end of the trail to be able to use your campfire again. So that's another rule. It's not that difficult, but it's just it makes it a little bit more complex. And that's all for the explanations of the game, so we can start with the game. So let's start by playing the game and moving the hiker along the trail. I'm going to explain a little bit more about the game, and we will come across some other interesting things and restrictions too, maybe. The first person is going to put his hiker somewhere and gain a mountain. It's the green one. So the green person is going to collect a mountain. There's also the case of the bonus, gain 1 drop, and if you have gained 1 mountain, so we're going to collect the drop. Then there's also one extra thing we need to take into account on the season card. On this season card you have marked at the bottom 2 water drops and a sun. What does this mean? We need to put extra wooden resources on the trail in this pattern. So starting from the second tile, we need to put a sun and 2 water drops, and again a sun and 2 water drops in the same order like is mentioned on the season bonus card. What is the idea behind this bonus? Whenever a person is putting his hiker on a tile he not only gets to collect the wooden resource from the tile, but also the resource that is on top of the tile. So in this case, the second tile, then he gets an extra sun. But this is only the case for the first person reaching this tile. So no other items will be put back on the tile. It's only the first person that is collecting this stuff, and he gets it just one time, a one-time bonus. So then, oh yes, whoever is starting, the person that is starting as a first time, maybe you can plan to let the person start who has uh, been taking a walk in the nature the last time, and the person who has been walking in the woods lastly is getting to start as the first person. You can do anything else. Maybe the youngest person that is starting or the eldest person, so that's not a problem. Then the blue one is taking a hike and he's collecting maybe a wooden resource, the woods and the sun. He gets the sun too. Then the white person is collecting along the carts, maybe this one. On this tile he gets 3 drops, 1, 2 and 3. That's not very difficult. So um, this particular person is also has also a need to collect the cards with the fewest points, but then he gets only 2 points extra. It's a very minimal year bonus, so maybe it's not interesting to collect these cards. Maybe it is. We will see along the game how this is evolving, and maybe it is not too interesting. Then the next person, the green person, needs to put his item. I will put this hiker maybe on this one, the bush. I put it on a tile with with another hiker, so I need to turn around his campfire so it will be extinguished, and I cannot put another hiker on a tile with an existing hiker, so I will need to put my one of my hikers at the end of the trail on the last tile to be able to do this action again on a place with another hiker. In this case, I will give this hiker a green wooden resource. It's the next thing he needs to collect. Sometimes we need to see if there's anything else we need to collect with the bonus. Gain 1 drop whenever you gain 1 mountain, but that's not the case. I'm not able to collect anything yet from the cards because there are other resources needed, so I need to give the players the possibilities to collect other resources. Then the blue player is playing. Um, on his turn, he can put one of his hikers because you're playing with the 2 hikers, and you can choose whichever you want. So the the first one too, and I think it's best to collect another sun maybe. The blue hiker is going to put this one over here. He gets 1 sun already on the tile and 2 other suns from the tile itself. So this is interesting because there are already 2 cards available with 2 points. This one with the sun and the wooden bush, or this one with the 4 suns, but only worth 2 points. Because you have a collection of suns that's worth less than the other one. But anyway, The player has to foresee itself which cards he is going to collect from the offer, and maybe another player has already the intention of collecting other cards too, that we are going to collect too. So it will be a competition between two players. Then the white player is going to play again. He's going to collect some items, maybe um, I don't know yet. Mm, maybe the two suns too. He needs to extinguish his campfire and turn his campfire card. Then he also gets two suns. Then the green player is playing, and he's going to collect wooden stuff, maybe. Um, Maybe he also wants to collect some other stuff. I don't know yet. Um, it's difficult because there are no other tiles possible, only these three, because the campfire is not lit. So I'm going to collect the mountain, a mountain resource, just one. Then the blue card, the blue player is going to play. The blue player, well, the blue player is in the possibility of getting a card, buying a card. He's going to put his player on this tile. First thing, he gets the resource of the water drop, and then he needs to buy a park or buy a gear bonus. But he's going to buy a park because he has the possibility of 4 suns or 2 suns and a wooden bush. So he's going to take the card with the 2 suns. He has bought this card, so he can put this card right on the spot. Whenever you are going to reserve a card, you need to put the card horizontal before your place. So, but that's not the case this time. You need to put a new card in the market. So each time you can choose among three national park cards. That's the offer that stands at the moment. Then at the moment, the blue player has a possibility of buying a second time, but if he's not able to do that in a later moment, he can also reserve a card, so that's not a problem anymore. I'm also looking at my bonus cards for the blue player, and he needs to collect cards with a mountain on it. So I'm already starting at the wrong foot, because this one card is not with a mountain, because there was no other offer. So it's going to be difficult sometimes, because the offer has nothing to do with my target cards, with my year cards. So that's not always a possibility. Then I'm going to play with the white player again. The white player has a possibility of buying items maybe, but there is not a lot of there are not a lot of things possible at the moment. So I'm going to put it one place further, take the wooden resource of a water drop, and take, maybe I'm going to buy something with 2 tokens. I'm paying 2 tokens to buy a particular picture with 1 point is also one victory point worth at the end of the game. So this is already a nice gain. Then I'm going to play with the green player. The green player needs to be able to buy cards too, but I don't see anything possible at the moment with my... No, not really possible. So it's going to collect some water drops for the moment. 2 water drops. He's going to collect them next to his other wooden items, his other wooden resource. And then I'm going to play with the blue player again. The blue player is going to put his... Maybe he can use his campfire still, so maybe he can collect some items like the blue one. No, this is too far. Maybe the blue player can collect 2 suns. He needs to extinguish his campfire, turn it around, so the moment he cannot put his next time he cannot put his hiker on another tile with other hikers. So but that's not a problem. He has to take 2 suns, and maybe he can buy a card next time. We will see about that. Then the white hiker needs to choose his next position on the trail. He also has an extinguished campfire, so one of the hikers has to be put at the end of the trail this time. He has no other possibility. Will he be able to buy anything? No, not yet. But maybe he can buy something else, like a bonus card. And I'm thinking about buying the bonus cards with the discount of a mountain. He's going to put his white hiker at the end on this place with 1 discount of a sun, so he only needs to pay 2 suns instead of 3. He can take this card. Costs only 2 suns at the moment, and he will have a discount of 1 mountain later, so that's an easy earning this time. And he needs to turn around his hiker, his campfire, because one of the hikers is at the end of the trail. That's also an advantage. We need to put another bonus gear card. Then the green player is going to play the game. The green player is maybe it is possible for him to buy something, but I'm not quite sure. One of these things. No, not yet. So the green player is going to gain a mountain. No, a bush. Sorry, a wooden bush. Then it's up to the next player, the blue player. The blue player needs to finish one of his he will need to put one of his hikers at the end of the trail, because he has no other option. They're both almost at the end of the trail. Is he going to be able to buy something? Well, of course. He has 4 suns in his own collection, so he's going to buy this card with 4 suns, and is going to have 2 victory points at the end of the game. That's nice for him. put a new national park game. This one is with the funny thing with fishes, and you need to have uh, water drops to buy them. So there's quite a reference between the two. And I need to put one of the blue players at the end of the game. I put them with at the bottom because he just bought a national park, and I can put the fire until it is already lit again. I need to turn around the campfire card. Then the white player is going to play again. The white player is going to collect points and cards again. Maybe he can buy something, maybe not. He's already bought a bonus card, not really a part card. So that's a little bit different, but let's see. He can collect other stuff to buy cards, maybe, maybe not. Maybe the white one is going to collect two suns, and he needs to put this campfire card and turn it around. Then the green player needs to play. He can collect some stuff because he is not yet at the end of the trail. He can collect some cards, or he can decide to buy. Maybe it's time to buy something. No, not yet. It's quite difficult to put this hiker somewhere because there's nothing really to collect on this spot. So maybe it's time to reserve a card, maybe. Or he can collect with 2 tokens. He can buy a picture, and you have 1 extra point at the end of the game, and pay with his 2 mountains, because he's not going to need the 2 mountains to buy any of the 3 cards at the moment. Then the blue player is going to play. He has maybe nothing else to buy because there is nothing else in the game he can buy. He has only 1 or 2 options to buy a gear card or to buy a national park card, but that's not going to be the case. He's going to put this hiker on this spot to reserve a card and to take the first token to start as a first person. So whenever you put this on this triangle, you can start as the first person. This triangle. Then the next person is going to play the white player. The white player, oh, the blue player needs to take a card, and maybe he can take a card. One person has maybe the possibility to buy later. You can make sure another person is not going to buy a card and put it in your own collection, and you can reserve as many cards as you would like from the offer. You're not need to buy this card at the end of the game. It's you don't get any points less because you have reserved cards. These reserved cards will not be put as a discount on your victory points. They will be left alone, because only the cards that are bought will have the victory points that you will have gained at the end of the game. So that's not a problem. Then the white player needs to do something with his cards. And the white player will be able to buy something, maybe. I'm going to give him the possibility to buy another bonus cards because he's having two sons, so that will be interesting. There will be no discount, so only this or this. I'm going to give him this one. This is a bonus that you can buy two cards at the same time whenever you have the resources, of course. It's a strange bonus cards. And then we are ending the game, and we giving the possibility to the green hiker to play with two hikers only. So the other players are not allowed to play anymore. The green hiker is going to play with his two hikers as the only player in the play of this season right now. But when if it was the case that only one of his hikers was on the trail, then this particular had to put this hiker on the end of the game, on the end of the trail. But at this moment, even when two persons with the same color, the same hiker is in on the trail, he has the possibility to be able to put this hiker wherever he wants to go and collect other wooden resources. That's not a problem. The only problem is that you need to be aware of this strategy, because this green player is going to collect a lot of other things, and you need to be aware that you can block off this kind of strategy, so he doesn't have the possibility to play around at the end of the season. So maybe he's going to collect two water drops at the moment, the green. So that's a strategy too. And then the green one is going to collect two suns. He can collect as many items he would like still until he is at the end of the trail. And whenever one of the hikers of his own is at the end of the trail, the other one needs to be at the end in the next turn. So I'm going to collect some other things. Maybe is there a possibility of buying a card? I will see this one, and this one. So water drop, sun, and wooden wood. I'm going to buy a card. That's not a problem. I'm paying. I'm collecting the cards. Fine. Then in this case there's only one person in the game on the trail. He is not able to put his he will not be able to to use the other tiles next to the other. He needs to put his hiker at the end of the trail. Maybe he can buy something again. Maybe he does, because indeed he can put this green hiker at the end to buy a card at the bottom of the end tile, and he's going to buy a card with the four wooden drops, and he's going to put it in his own collection. This is the end of one season, so after the season you need to put all the hikers back at the beginning. You need to collect all the water drops from the canteen you have in your own collection. So you need to restart with the you also need to restart with the campfire, turn it around. That's all for the moment. The reserved cards of the own players are taken into account by the player itself. You need to take into account if you can buy them. If you are not able to buy a reserved card, that's not a problem. They are not taken into discount of your victory points, so that's not a problem. And you need to put one extra tile in the next season until the last season. The last season has 4 extra tiles, so and you need to put them at random again and shuffle all the tiles again with the extra one tile for the next season, and you need to put them in random order again. We need to pick another season card and have the bonus shown again for all the players during that season. And we need to start with another season and uh, let the hiker pass along the trail until the end of the trail again. When all the players are reaching the end trail, the end tile, then another season has passed. And that's the purpose of the game. At the end of the game, we have to take into account and sum up all the park cards, the victory cards of all the players separately, and also the points of the pictures. The pictures are worth 1 point only at the moment, and there's also the case of the bonus cards, the year cards. Sometimes they are difficult to reach, but these are worth 2 or 3 points whenever you have collected a lot of national cards of the same range. And that's all there is to it. Hi there, hope you enjoyed the video about the Parks game. Um, it's a little adventure game for me in which you can hike through a trail and find resources. Maybe it's also a little bit like comparable with the game Century. You need to collect items too, and you can exchange things and you can have bonuses. It's a little bit different, and it's with little cubes and herbs, spices, but it's with different resources, so it's comparable too. And I'm sure there are other games uh, you can compare this game with, and it's not that easy, it's not that difficult, I mean, but you need to plan ahead and have some strategy. You can block other persons too. I even have some extra suggestions to the game to make it a little bit more cooperative, because it's not really completely cooperative, but it's a nice little game. There are two extra additions to the game you can buy, but if you're having fun with the base game, it's fine too. So I have a lot of fun with it.